Human motivation. News of human interest. What transpires following Pope Francis's death? At 88, Pope Francis passed away on April 21. Written by Wendy Grossman Contour and David Chu. Published on April 21, 2025, at 7:25 a.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time. Comments on February 12, 2025. Pope Francis attends the Vatican's weekly general audience. On February, Pope Francis attends the Vatican's weekly general audience. 12, 2025. Getty Images, Massimo Velicchia. Nur photo. On Monday, April 21, at the age of 88, Pope Francis passed away. The pontiff died less than a month after he was released from the hospital after spending 38 days there for bronchitis and pneumonia. Here's what happens after a pope dies, from his funeral to when a new pope will be chosen. The announcement that Pope Francis, who was 88 years old, had passed away on April 21 sets off a series of events, some of which have been in place for centuries and others that Francis himself has initiated in recent years. In 2023, Francis made it clear that he had already scheduled a meeting with the papal master of ceremonies to plan his funeral. He even joked that he would be the one to premiere the new, simplified ritual. Here's what happens after a pope dies, from where he will be buried to when cardinals will choose his successor. Farrell will preside over a conclave to choose the next one. What happens right away following the pope's death? When a pope dies, the chief of staff known as the Carmelingo calls out the pontiff's baptismal name 3 times. A death certificate is granted and the cardinal vicar of the Diocese of Rome is informed if the pontiff does not respond. The Carmelingo typically destroys the fisherman's ring of the deceased pontiff to symbolize his demise. Additionally, his papal apartments will be closed off. The Camerlengo will also inform the College of Cardinals of the Pope's death before the Vatican announces it to the world. When and where will his funeral be held? Novendiali, a 9-day period of mourning, will begin upon hearing of the Pope's death. The Pope's body will be blessed during that time and laid to rest at St. According to Politico, the Peter's Basilica in Vatican City is open for viewing. Between the 4th and 6th day following his passing, his funeral will take place at St. depending on the weather, Peter's Square, CBS News reported. According to the Associated Press, Francis approved new funeral rites last year that called for his body to be displayed in a plain coffin rather than on an elevated bier. Additionally, the traditional 3 coffins made of cypress, lead, and oak would no longer be required for his burial. Regarding the location of his burial, Francis stated to a Mexican broadcaster in 2023 that he desired to be buried in St. Mary Major, a basilica in Rome rather than the Vatican. He said that he wanted to be near an icon of the Virgin Mary in the basilica. Street. According to Reuters, the pontiff also prays at Mary Major prior to and after his overseas trips. Francis stated, "It is my great devotion. The location is already set up.